All right, we're live. All right, we're back. We're
What's
back
happening?
for more. What's up? We're back
What's
for
up?
more. This is our surprise. Surprise. Here we are. We uh we haven't been on for a while, and here we are. I'm just messing around with some stuff here. All right. I'm Jack Mangan of the MetalAsylum.net, Metal Hall of Fame, and my evil graphic novel. Been a little quiet lately on the web, but I'm here. I am talking to my bud Rich Catino. What's up, Rich?
What's happening? Rich Catino from the Asylum and Brave Words and Sea of Tranquility and Metal Hall of Fame too.
Yeah.
And we are here talking about what we've been listening to lately. Got a bunch of things that we reviewed, right? And
Yeah.
copies of stuff I got here. So
Yeah, so this is not going to be as we usually go for about an hour. It's going to be a shorter episode tonight. Tell us what you're listening to. Go ahead and type in the comments. Tell us what you got in your tape deck right now,
right,
and
what we
um,
missed or should check out.
yeah, yeah. And I'll get out the pencil if the tape gets stuck. So yeah, all right. Yeah, so I got a list. It's been a crazy year, and I want to hear. Actually, I want to hear from you first, but I'll just give a little preface for me. Just because the year's been nuts. 2021 is no crazier for me than 2020. I've actually been listening a lot to. I've given into the streaming thing. I listen to my iPod less. I went from being almost 99% iPod to now basically 99% streaming. So my listening is across the board. Listening to new stuff, checking out the hot new releases. Doing some review copy stuff, but also listening. Also, I was telling Rich, this is the least metal thing. Maybe not the least metal, but earlier today, I was thinking about tonight and listening to Roy Orbison. So I mean, that's not really metal, but yeah, I listen to good mix of old and new. But go ahead, Rich. I'm curious about what your listening habits are and what you got on your tape deck these days.
Well, before we do that, there's a bunch of things that came out. So I'm
Yeah,
looking at the list and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, there's some things that I probably forgot to go back to, which I should. So since January, it's going to take a couple minutes, but bear with me. The Accept came out, which I got that, Too Mean to Die,
that's right. The new Accept. Yeah,
which is cool.
yeah,
Cool
it's good
artwork.
album.
Cool artwork too.
Yeah,
Um, let's see. Michael Schenker Group, Immortal.
that's right. That one kicked some ass. That was a good one.
Yeah. Therion, which is a cool album. It's called Leviathan. I have to go back to that again. Let's see. February, the Todd Latore solo album, Rejoice
That's
in the
right.
Suffering, the singer for Queensryche, right? That
I
was
didn't
out.
hear that. If you've listened to that out there, talk to us about it. I have not listened. He's fantastic, so I have no
Yeah,
excuse.
it's good. It's heavier. It's heavier than Queensryche. It's good.
Cool.
Have you heard of this band called Inglorious?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Melodic, melodic
Yeah.
AOR hard rock band.
Yeah. I didn't think they were AOR. I mean, I guess they're Frontiers or
Yeah,
Frontiers. Yeah. Okay.
that came out. We Will Ride. That was a cool album. I need to go back to that. Along the same lines, Joel Hoekstra, his 13 project, whatever you want to call it, Running Games.
And
Right.
actually, I'll jump in and say Joel Hoekstra actually put out one of the albums that I'm going to recommend to you all. Is the VHF album, which is not him solo. It's not a solo album. He's
Huh.
got he's got Vince Guerra and Franklin are the other. That's what the VHF is for, and
Okay.
it's a kind of instrumental, but it rocks. I mean, if you know who Joel Hoekstra is, he's an incredible guitar player. He's in Whitesnake. He's no slouch. He's
Right.
standing.
Plays in Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, exactly.
Was a
Right.
Night Ranger for a little while.
Right. Yeah, he's been a hired gun quite a bit, but he's also we've had him on actually. We talked to him.
Yeah.
He's a super nice guy.
Yep.
Way too good looking, by the way, Joel Hoekstra. I mean, what the hell? That's not fair. But yeah, incredible guitar player. That's a kick-ass album, the VHF album. That's right up my alley because it's kind of instrumental, virtuoso, little proggy, little Satriani.
Cool.
So anyway, I'm going to shut up. Go ahead, Rich.
That's all right. Let's see. Whitesnake put out the third part to their compilation set, the Blues album that came out.
That's
Check that
right.
out. It's got the more bluesier Whitesnake songs on it.
What's up, Christopher Brown? Aurora the Room. I don't know it.
No,
Again,
haven't heard of that, but thanks for the suggestion.
yeah, you know, it's I am less cool than I mean, I'm pretty cool, but I'm less cool than usual in 2021. So yeah, I will definitely note it and tell us, you know, a little bit about what we're in for if you got a minute. But
Well, you know
thanks.
how it is. It's so hard to keep up with everything, but every once in a while, if you go back to one of these lists, you can catch up, and go back to stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
this is who we are. I mean, I'm always down for
yeah.
good music suggestions. So all right, go ahead, Rich.
Epica, Omega was the album. They put out an album.
Yeah,
Evergrey new album, Escape the Phoenix.
it's excellent album. Very good.
Hellstar, Clad in Black. That was a good album too. I think you reviewed that, right?
That's one of my albums of the year. It's just, man, that guy, he truly is immortal. He truly is never. He's got to be undead. It's incredible how he can still belt it out. Great album, great
Uh,
riffs.
Moonspell. You know Moonspell?
I do. I don't. I yeah, but yes,
Right.
but no.
Okay. I have to listen to it more, but I'm a fan of their previous stuff. So that was called Hermitage. That album. Let's see. Hold on. It's a lot here that I'm going
All right,
through. A lot that I don't know the names of.
here we got a big one here. So yes,
Burning
Burning Witches.
Witches. Yes.
Um, yeah,
Didn't get to that on the list here yet. I'm sure it's here though, but that was one of the ones. Yes, the Burning Witch is great, and they do a cover of Savage's "Fall the Mountain King" on
oh, okay. I haven't. I mean, I like everything I've heard from them. How do
that. Yeah,
you cover Hall of the Mountain King? I need to hear that.
it's
I
good.
didn't
They
know.
did a great job.
I've slept on. I'm a huge Pepper fan, so I got to check out the new COC. I guess I can't say I'm a huge Pepper fan if I freaking missed it, but yeah, and that Halloween album is just
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I think that's both of ours that we've been listening to, right?
yeah. But thanks, Michael.
Yep. What else? Blaze Bailey put out another album, "War Within Me."
You did.
I think you reviewed this one, right? Liquid Tension Experiment.
Yeah, love it. I'll talk about it in a minute. Love it.
Okay. The Bodum After Midnight, the Paint the Sky with Blood EP.
That's right. I didn't. That's not on my list. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's
Yeah,
it's an EP. It's only a couple of songs, but yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna
yeah,
make a
that was
note.
the band after Children of Bodom, and then unfortunately Lexi passed away.
I think he plays on that if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yep. Evile, thrash band, Hell Unleashed. So I'm up to May now. Robin McCauley, from Macaulay Schenker.
Yeah.
He put out a solo album, Standing on the Edge, which is cool. I heard that. Anything jogging your memory of anything else that came out as I'm going through this?
Yeah, I got a list too,
Okay.
of course. Yeah,
I still got more here. You remember
all right,
Kyrith Ungle?
yeah, that's right. They
Traditional
did.
heavy metal band. They put out something, an EP, Half Past Human.
That's right.
And then the Flotsam and Jetsam, Blood in the Water.
Yeah.
Which is so great, so good. Going to be definitely in my top 10, maybe top 5 of the year, I would say.
Yeah, it's pretty killer.
The Halloween. And let's see, a lot of bands I don't know a lot of these names. I got some homework to do here. Got some listening to do. What else? At the Gates put out something too, The Nightmare of Being.
Yeah, the new song is pretty killer. I don't know if the full album is out yet because again, uncool right now. But yeah.
And July you got Powerwolf put out another album called Wild. That's coming up. LA Guns released a live Cocked and Loaded. They played the whole album live. That's coming out. And Dee Snider. Oh, I have been listening to that actually. I heard part of that. The Leave a Scar. his second solo album. It's really
That's
good.
right. Yeah, that's right. Um,
The one
yeah,
single, I Wanna Rock, or I Still Wanna Rock, I think it's called.
something
Really
like that.
good.
Yeah, yeah. John Freeman.
Heavy and hard rocking, but very catchy.
John Freeman just talked about that recently.
Yeah. Oh, and then coming up in August, got Night Ranger putting out another album.
Yeah.
And let's see, Destruction Live Attack. That was the live stream that they did
Right.
a few months ago. Actually, it was in January for New Year's, I think it was. So that's coming out live CD, I think DVD. So that's for August. So we got a couple comments there for a couple other things, right?
Yeah. Tom Price just called out Testament, Armored Saint, Thin Lizzy.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
And then Craig's talking about Seven Ravens featuring Seven Ravens. Good grief. Seven Ravens featuring Tony Franklin on bass, Matt Starr on drums.
I haven't heard that.
And then looking forward to New Dangerous Curves this Friday. Cool.
Okay. Got some other things to check out. Cool.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
So what do you got there? Talk about something.
I've listened to well, like I said at the top of the show, I've been listening to a pretty good mix of old and new. But for the new stuff, for the stuff that's current, as we discussed last time we had John Freeman on, Vintage Caravan is one of my albums of the year. It's really great retro kind of stuff, but with a great edge. The Halloween album, of course, is I've been saying, to me, that's their best since the Keeper albums. It's and Rich and I talked about this. I don't think it blows away the best of the Darius era. I don't think it's like light years better than Raw or the best of the Darius era. But I think it is the best. It's the best since Keeper 2. It's not as good as Keeper 2. I mean, nothing.
I think it's the best maybe since because I think Better Than Raw and Master of the Rings are still excellent. And I really like Gambling with the Devil, and Straight Outta Hell 2 is great. But maybe, I don't know, maybe since Better Than Raw, maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say.
And
it is great. It's strong. It's consistent.
I know that. Go ahead.
I thought it sounded a little bit like Halloween meets Gamma Ray, because you got Kai back in the band, so I think there's a little bit of elements of Gamma Ray thrown in there too, which is a nice combination.
Right. Yeah. Imagine that. We got Craig Kuhlman. He says he's also digging the new Steve Whitman.
I have to check that out. Singer for Kick. He's got a solo album out. Yep.
Yeah, we should get him back on.
Cool booklet, by the way, because you got a picture of all the guys, and then you got the lyrics in there. If you didn't get it yet.
No, I don't have the hard copy of the album. Yeah. I think it's the three of them sound great. I was surprised, as you said, that Kai the only song he has any writing credit on is Skyfall, which is just a new Halloween classic. I think it's a great album. If this is the end, which I hope it's not, then it's a great way to go out. Yeah, probably not. I think they're riding high. Anyway, so what else we got? I got more stuff. So if you're into, like, basically you can close your eyes and think you're listening to an old long lost Sepultura album. You check out the new one from Enforced. It's pretty killer. There's an album that I did review for Metal Asylum, which I listened to quite a bit. I have not listened to it in the last couple of weeks, but I'm still going to call it out, which is the Sullen album. It's really excellent prog metal. What was the album called? It was because it was prog metal. They had a funny. Yeah, it was Noticed Tolerant Act 1 Oblivion.
Okay.
So good stuff. I'll rattle off some more. Speaking in that vein, Anathema's new one is just wonderful. It's beautiful. As Rich called out before, Liquid Tension Experiment is it's almost redundant to say it's a Mike Portnoy project because he's on every album. He's on basically anytime there's a drummer sitting down, it's Mike Portnoy. But that album, they do a cover or a modern prog metal version of Rhapsody in Blue, which is just unbelievable. It's absolutely perfection. And you think like that's easy to screw up, but no, they do it great. There's a band out of Ukraine called Synoptic. That album is really, really listenable. Really digging that one.
What's it like? What kind of style?
I'm going to call it a little bit traditional, a little bit of stoner. Yeah, Yeah, it's a bit stonery, it's kind
Okay.
of Sabbathy, a little Sabbathy. They remind me a little bit of the Necromancers, who've just changed their singer, by the way. So it's going to be weird to hear where they go, the Necromancers. But anyway, Synoptic, it's out of the Ukraine, so it's going to be a sleeper. But I recommend it. Of course, as I already gushed about the Hellstar album and the Evergrey album, Flotsam and Jetsam. Listen a little bit to the Mama Doom. That's kind of a fun one. It's kind of bar band stuff, but I'm digging it. Back along the virtuoso symphonic stuff, the Lost Symphony. I think it's called Chapter 3. It's got an amazing array of guest stars: Marty Friedman, Nuno, Nuno Betancourt, if you didn't know,
Cool.
Alex Skolnick. It's really great stuff. It's again more the Satriani stuff, but it's just pretty killer. Um, I'll throw a tiny bit of shade, not shade at the artists, but I the new Rob Zombie album is kind of meh. I thought the single was pretty excellent. So I had a lot of high hopes, but just didn't do it. No disrespect to him. Great career. A lot of great music in his background. So the last couple of things I'll mention: Devin Townsend's latest, which is actually just a live. He did an online live thing last year where he actually incorporated some strapping young lad, and it's pretty excellent. If you like Devin, it's a 10 out of 10. And along those lines, a friend of his, Annika von Giersbergen, has a new one this year, which is it's kind of not really metal, but I mean she's metal, so it's beautiful. She's got an amazing voice. It's really nice stuff, and I'm kind of digging again, not kind of adjacent to metal. I'm kind of digging what I'm hearing of the new Gary Newman, so I'm looking forward to hearing that one. That's kind of in my tape deck right now. I'll go back to our comments and see what else we got.
By the way, speaking of, you were comparing the Halloween to past Halloween. There's 7 albums after Better Than Raw, which we were just talking about as one of our favorites. There's the Dark Ride, and you got Rabbit Don't Come Easy, and you got the Keeper of the Seven Keys, The Legacy, which I think this
Right.
probably could have worked better as maybe another Keeper album, instead of what they did in 2005. The one called The Legacy.
Yeah, that was 2005, wasn't it? Yeah,
And then
that's okay.
maybe, but I mean, it's hard to make a part 3 when you got 2 classics, from the 80s.
Are you counting the symphonic album? Because that one's good too.
Oh, you mean on Unarmed?
Unarmed? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
when they
album.
do like jazz and blues and like instrumental versions and ballad versions of some of their songs. That's a very
Yeah,
cool album, by the way.
it is. A Tale That Wasn't Right. That's the one I think absolutely improves on the
Yeah.
original. It's Andy sings it beautifully. I mean, of course, Michael Kiske sings it beautifully, but Andy sings it beautifully, and the strings just
It's
it's
a
very.
cool album because it shows their diversity and their range. Just like Pink Bubbles and Chameleon gets a hard time because they were more poppy and more experimental.
Mm-hmm.
But it shows what their talent is. They're not just a one-trick pony of doing just the same kind of speedy,
Right.
upbeat power metal. So aside from
Which
those 2 albums, Unarmed is another example of their range, what they can do.
And you make a good point because ironically, they're the kings of power metal. I think undisputed, and
Of course,
that's the knock against power metal. That every song is the same,
and it's
same
not.
beat, and that right. I don't agree with that. I'm a huge power metal fan, but that's the knock.
Yeah,
And I know what they're saying when people say like, oh, it's just the same double bass beat and the same.
right.
Like, yeah, okay, I get it. Then sure, there are many songs that sound exactly like
Of
Eagles
course,
Live
and
Tree.
many of the bands have those songs on each album, but the rest of the album is filled out with other things.
Right. So yeah, I mean, tell us more what you're listening to out there. Oh, and I just discovered this today again because I'm asleep at the wheel a little bit. I discovered today. Yeah, Michael VA says it's the staccato riffs, and yeah, it's it's a little bit of a challenge, but the good bands do it, like Halloween does it. But I just discovered today Dee Dee Verney's other side project.
That is cool. I saw that too. That is very cool and fun.
And actually, I'm not going to name names or anything, but I saw it because saw somebody kind of knocking it. Somebody was like, "Oh, this crap," and I went and was like, "Oh, I got to hear it for myself." And I thought it's clearly tongue in cheek. He's clearly having a good time, but
Yeah,
So what? I'm having a good time listening. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like the riffs. I'm digging it. Well, and I only heard the one song. Maybe the rest is not good, but I have faith in Didi Verdi. I mean,
Yeah.
he and
His other side band that he, the project Bronx Casket Company he did many years ago was very cool.
right.
Doom goth thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd love for that to come back. And when we talked to him last year, you could see the wheels turning. I'm not trying to drop any exclusives or anything here because he's busy. I mean, Overkill's got stuff
Yeah.
coming on. He's got the Cadillac band. So I mean, he's clearly busy. But Didi, if this gets back to you, we'd love to hear more Bronx Casket
Yeah.
Company. Would be great. Well, so what about? I mean, you have more, or what about old? If you're listening to anything old right now, Rich, I've got something that's going to piss you off in a minute, but I want to hear
I'm
what you.
not, but I got a couple of new things that came out that
Yeah,
I'm still checking
all right,
out. That I
let's
think we
keep rolling.
talked about it before. The Creator 2 CD set that came out.
Yeah.
Still checking that out. It's got a lot of cool tracks on it. This goes from most of their '80s albums up to I think Coma of Souls. I think as I'm looking at the track listing. Maybe the one after that. I don't know the album after Coma of Souls. Was it? Do you know the album after that one?
I have
Hold on.
this.
I gotta put my readers here because the font is really small here. Renewal. That's one of the newer ones. Past Coma of Souls, I think.
Yeah, Renewal is the next one. I was gonna say Extreme
What is
Aggression,
it?
but this one Renewal is the next one. Extreme Aggression
Okay.
was the one before.
Renewal.
Well, if you can trust Wikipedia.
Wow, I should wait. What came after Coma of Souls?
Coma of Souls, then it was 1990. Renewal was 92. Cause
All
for
right,
Conflict.
I think this goes up to
95.
that album. I think, but you got a lot of tracks on here. It's cool. You got 13 on one and 13 on the other one. Some live stuff, a couple remixes and things. So this is cool. If you pick this up, if you're a Creator fan. And then another compilation that came out, Tigers of Pantang fans. They got a cool one, Majors and Minors, which has songs from the 4 albums that Jack sings on. The more recent, the recent singer.
Right.
So this is really cool. They're still active. They're still making music. So get this.
Another recent guest who's a cool guy.
Yeah, that's the 4 albums they take tracks from, which the newest one is up here. That was a great album. You can see that.
Oh, I can't wait for my turn because I keep thinking of new stuff.
And then Power Metal fans, this is a great live album and DVD, Hammerfall, taken from their recent album and tour. So I'm watching this. This is very cool. Comes with this too. Got a poster.
Nice.
And then live shots inside of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to jump in because I gotta call out 2 albums that I didn't call it yet. One album hasn't come out yet, but the new Schumann album. It's again friend of the show.
Oh yes.
Great guy.
Prog band.
Yeah, great prog metal. Their 3rd album is coming out, and it's just the next in a sequence of a great career. So definitely check that out. Speaking of great careers, Craig Goldie's one of his projects is Resurrection Kings. I can't talk today. Resurrection Kings. Yes. Their new album is pretty kick-ass. Definitely.
Is it already out or is it coming out? I don't remember.
It's out this month or next. I think it's out this month.
Okay.
That's a good one. And Craig Goldie, the guy, if you don't know who he is, he has played with Dio. He's in the Dio Disciples band. He's on the Stars. He's one of the guitar players. He's in the video too, if you watch the video. And I met him a couple of years ago at a Metal Hall of Fame event. Just so down to earth. Such one of the nicest people I've met in this whole business. Great stuff. I'm looking too. Sorry, this. Not entertaining to watch me and Rich go but hang on. Oh yeah, there's the new Tesseract, which is kind of making they're very, very proggy, very genty proggy, but super smart, super brainy. I'm definitely curious to hear. I've heard a little bit.
The Resurrection Kings is out the 16th, by the way.
16th of July. Oh, like 3 days from now.
Yep.
Okay.
Same thing with the Powerwolf, if they're still on schedule.
yeah, our reviews will be a little late, but yeah, that's a good one.
Well,
Um,
that's a
all
lot.
right.
We went through a lot.
Yeah, and that's not it for the year. There's a lot. Like I said, I've not been
Yeah,
in the mines as much as I like to be. And I intend to repair that. I know that I'm really dying to hear the new one from Udo. Udo is a new. It's
that's
not an
right.
Udo album. It's Dirk Schneider and the Old Gang is
Mm,
the name of the project. So that's one I'm definitely curious to hear. I've not heard it. Um,
right.
oh yeah, who's the? I've got to find his name. He's Raphael Weinroth Brown, the metal cellist. His new album is really great. That's out. That's pretty great stuff.
Oh, and
Yeah,
the band Vulture, Dealing Death, old school
right.
80s style speed metal. If you like Razor and Exciter, they had an album that came out that was really good. I reviewed that one too. And forgot about the End Machine
The End
Phase
Machine.
Two. That's the
Yep,
band with George Lynch and Jeff Pilson and Robert Mason from Warrant, singer for Warrant, their other band, which is a cool album.
that's right. Yep. Yeah. I almost forgot too. We've got a new one from Jason Bieler's new one. Jason Bieler is actually he was part of Saigon Kick.
So I got
So
kicked. Yeah.
yeah, I actually didn't put two and two together. I didn't think, oh yeah, it's because I didn't remember the names. I loved
Hmm.
Saigon Kick, but I didn't remember the names of the guys. I'm listening to that album, going, this has a real Saigon Kick feel to it. And then I look at the liner notes and go, oh, well, that's why he was in Saigon Kick. But his new album is really impressive. It's another one where he's just like got a cavalcade of guest stars. Again, for super talent, Witherfall, you can't go wrong with. I mean, Jake Dreyer is one of the best guitar players in the business, in the metal business these days. So the new Witherfall is pretty great.
I gotta
Um,
check that out again.
Neil Morris is doing more stuff. For those of you in the prog world, Neil Morris he's the guy's a giant. From Spock's Beard, and he's had a weird career path, but really good stuff. And then of course more in that Mike Portnoy prog world is Transatlantic, and that's Neil Morris. And these guys are just very busy. They're not letting anything slow them down. So,
Cool.
all
Well,
right, I'm gonna
that's
check the
enough, right?
comments. I'm gonna check the comments and see what else we got.
That's enough to check out for now to catch up on
Yeah, but sorry. Well, I'm gonna piss Rich off though. Now this is the portion of the program where I anger Rich.
with what you're
Uh,
listening to.
well, I went back and checked out an old classic
Uh-huh.
album that to me I used to love this album, and I went and listened to it recently, and it's kind of like I'm not feeling it the way I used to. I played this tape backward and forward, and I'm setting it up. I'm being dramatic with my delivery here. There were some songs on there that are still killer. So I will say that it's not a complete waste of time. I wouldn't give it like a complete thumbs down. I wouldn't trash the album, but it's not nearly as good as I remembered.
Okay.
And that is all right, Rich. You're sitting down, right? All right. It's
Yep.
78 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Is just did not do it for me the way it used to. In and
I
out of
know
love.
you were. I know you were a fan of it.
Yeah, and it's still, if someone said, should I check it out? I wouldn't say like, no, burn it. In and out of love is still good. King of the Mountain is still a good song. Silent Night is corny as all get out, but it's nice enough.
It's a
Tokyo,
ballad. It's a ballad.
yeah. I mean, a Bon Jovi ballad. And Tokyo is a Tokyo Road. That song's
Yeah.
okay. Then the rest of it, I was like, yeah, I don't need any of it. And
Hmm.
it was probably that way back in the day. I was just fast forwarding through to the songs I liked. So I don't know.
There's a
Um,
couple other ones on there I really like. Always Run to You. Only Lonely's great.
that was one
Um,
of my old time favorites, and today listening to it is going like, yeah, this is. Anyway, I'm not trashing it. You're a fan, and people out there are fans, and my motto is if like what you like. That's my motto. So I'm not gonna.
it's definitely it's their second album. It's definitely that part of their era when they were harder rocking and they had that metal edge and some of those riffs. I'm not
Right.
saying I've always said I'm not saying they're heavy metal, but they were a hard rock band and they had a metal edge at times, especially live. They weren't light live at that time.
I was huge into Bon Jovi. Those first two albums, I really liked them both a lot.
I still,
And
yeah,
I, you know, Yeah, I'm a little. I haven't listened to the debut in a long time. Now I'm nervous to listen to that one because I have great memories of that one
First one's
too.
great. I still like. I really like the first ones. It's very good.
But I
Um,
did not like the era. I mean, good for him for ruling the pop charts. He was had so many number one hits and sold out arenas. The
well,
guy has a restaurant that feeds the homeless. So I'm not gonna sit here and hate on the guy and bash on him.
but if
I
you
don't.
remember, at the time though, Twisted Sister, Quiet Riot, Bon Jovi, and Def Leppard were probably the first four bands that really got on the radio with playing, hard rock and heavy metal music that opened the doors for all the other bands that were played on the radio.
Yeah,
Don't
for
come out,
sure.
feel the noise. We're not going to take it. Photograph, Rock of Ages, and especially Hysteria, you know,
Yeah,
and then Bon
yeah,
Jovi, Runaway, and In and Out of Love, and then of course, Living on a Prayer and You Give Love, Bad Name, and Wanted, Dead or Alive. So those bands,
right.
those four totally opened the door for all the other hard rock metal from the '80s to be played on the radio. You know,
Yeah. Well, and there's no disrespect to to any of them, any of the above. Stay Hungry was definitely to me was not that's not the Twisted Sister that I love, but it is a good album. It's a very good album, but that's not the Twisted
mm-hmm.
Sister that I'm going to take to my desert island. I mean, it's fine. It's got some great songs on it.
Yeah.
Um, we're not going to take it as not one of those great songs. It's but of course I couldn't get enough of that song and that
Oh, at the time, yeah,
those
it
stupid
was great.
videos. I couldn't get
Yeah,
enough. But yeah, Pyromania. I
yeah,
mean,
Pyromania,
anyone
yeah.
who knows me, Pyromania is one of the ultimate albums of all time for me. That's why a lot of Leopard purists will say, "No, no, High and Dry." I'm like, yeah, I don't. I'm not going to trash High and Dry. That album is also a perfect 10 out of 10. But Pyromania, yeah, and Pyromania ruled. Like High and Dry was a hit, but it didn't rule the radio like Rich said. Like Pyromania, especially Photograph. I mean, for those of you based out of New York or know anything about New York, Z100 is probably arguably
Mm,
one of the biggest radio stations in the world,
yeah.
and they played the hell out of Def Leppard, and they didn't play any other Quiet Riot, but they did play
Come on, feel the
Come On
noise.
Feel the Noise, and I don't think they touched Motley Crue, but you're right, Motley Crue
They probably did
needed.
when Home Sweet Home came out in '85. I think maybe around that time, you know. But at that time, '85 was also um, Fahrenheit was '85, but they didn't really play them on the radio, from what I remember. Not much.
Yeah, that album. I mean, that album did well, but you're right. I mean, it was the next album that made Bon Jovi the biggest stars in the world. I
Right.
mean,
But I'm looking at the track listing for Fahrenheit, and The Price of Love isn't bad. I like that one, but I don't like it that much. It's not one of my favorites. I never really liked King of the Mountain that much. It's okay, but Hardest Part of the Night is really good. Always Run to You. Secret Dreams is cool. And then the only one I think that's really the clunker is To the Fire. That's like that keyboardy kind of song, and it just doesn't fit on the rest of the album, I think.
eh.
You know? But everything else, yeah, I still stand behind that album pretty much. 85,
Well,
90% of it, I'd say.
and like I said, I will never. I mean, actually, that's not true. There are some albums which I will bash to hell, but I mean, not these albums. So I'm looking through my playlist. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Something else I've been listening to lately that I'm going to love on was well, let me see what else was definitely. Well, yeah, I've been listening to Creator, listening to. God damn, where is it? Yeah, that's right. Uriah Heep. Been going back and listening to. Obviously that's not new. That's older than me, but
Cool.
I mean, and it's not like it's a new. It's not like it's new to me, but that's something else I've been listening to and
Mhm.
digging. So yeah, like I said, I got a mix of
Cool.
old and new, and it's metal. Oh, this guy does not qualify as metal, but I mean, since we're talking about virtuoso guitarist, Greg Koch, I've been listening to unbelievable guitar. Like he's very Jeff Beck style. A little bit of Satch, but all these guys are in the Satch arena. Um, oh yeah, I was listening to the Exciter album. Just Heavy Metal Maniac is just
Nice.
it's so good, so good. Um, all right, so
All
yeah,
right. Cool.
that's kind of what I'm doing these days. And Rich is right. There's more good stuff coming up this year, next couple of months.
We'll do
Rich,
another part at some point.
yeah, Yeah, and in the weeks ahead, Rich and I have a couple of interviews in the pipeline, but Rich and I have a couple of really good topics also in the pipeline, which I guess we'll surprise you with them. We won't tease them
Yeah,
right
we
just
figure
yet.
it out. We're still discussing stuff. So.
But yeah, we got some good stuff. Anyway, good talk, Rich. Good
Yep.
discussion, and a good defense of 7800. Like I said, I'm not gonna totally bash the album, but just didn't have the same appeal for me today
Right.
in the past week or so than it did back in the day. There's a couple of tracks I'll put on playlists again, but overall, a lot of filler. Sorry, no offense. I'm sure John Bon Jovi's at home like crying right now watching us, but no, he's not. He's doing just fine. All right, well, thanks you
All right.
guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Rich. This has been fun.
Cool. Yep.
We'll do more of this summer. But you guys be good. We'll see you soon.
See you.